Hey, please forgive me for those technical difficulties. I'm working now from my office, and I don't know, the Wi-Fi here at the office was is not as strong. I imagine, or some reason I could not get it connected as normal. But I'm back. I'm back. I want to welcome you guys back so much. Um, we were going. I want to have a quick talk with you guys. I want to see what you guys are thinking. I want to hear what's going on in your hearts and how you guys feel about what's going on. Because right now I'm at a place. Hey Kim, welcome back. And I'm expecting Bishop Bailey to come on with me in just a moment. We've got to come up with some solutions as to why is it so dangerous to basically be a black man in America. And I'm a former police officer. Um, I'm a former. I worked in the field of criminal justice um, for years. I'm prior military, so I'm a U.S. United States Armed Forces veteran. And Ron, now you say you inbox me on IG. Okay, I never check it. I got to figure out how to do that. So now I'm trying to figure out what exactly is going on and what stand do we take. I want to ask you guys that are coming on with me now, can you tag every pastor you know? Or begin to just list every name of every pastor you could think of. Hey, Bridget Hickey from Nashville, Tennessee. Um, every pastor you can think of. We need to connect. We need to unite. We need to come together, put our voices together, and start speaking out against the atrocities that are seemingly becoming a commonplace against our people. And right here, I want to make it clear, I'm not doing this in a retaliation against any other race. I'm not against the white race or the Orientals or the Europeans or anyone. I'm pro us. I'm a pro black man, and I am at the point of saying, and Bishop Bailey's here, and I'm going to bring Bishop Bailey on with us. What I'm saying is, this thing that's going on in our country now, where it's almost a curse. It feels like there is a bounty upon. Hey, Milton Wren, talk to me, brother. There's a bounty on the head of black men for simply being black. And these atrocities must come to an end. Bishop Bailey, we've got to unite, brother. Bishop, we got to unite. It's time that we come together. It's time that we bring forces together. We got all these platforms. Everybody's going live and everybody's talking about everything in the world, and that's fine. But now it's time out for playing it safe. Okay. We got to come from behind the wall of safety.
Okay.
And speak out against the atrocities that are coming up so willfully, so woefully, and so wrongly against our people. What do you think, brother? I want to unite every man of God, every mayor, every governor. We've got to put our heads together and talk. It's time to bring this stuff to an end. What do you think?
But I think that you're spot on. I think that this is where we've got to be now. I think that we can no longer accept the little things that they do, like making arrests without fire them without an arrest. This is happening every other day now in our community, and for some reason, it seems that we are just melting down and saying, well, maybe if they had not done this or they had not done that. I don't know anything that you could do, Pastor Mike, that will cause a man to blatantly just take your life. I mean, be it police or just anybody. And to see what we saw day before yesterday, a man's knee on a man's neck. And this man is crying out.
He's crying for help.
Yeah, to the point that he cries out to his dead mother. Now, you know, I'm emotional. When he did that, I broke down and started crying because they had already said that his mother was dead. So he's crying out for a grown man crying out for the help of his mother. And this guy's sitting there as though he's posing for the world to see that I'm taking another one of these black or brown persons out. And so do we continue to sit in our pulpits or behind these platforms, as you said, and say nothing? Do we continue to say, well, you know, that's not my son or that's not my brother, and I have nothing to say? We got to come forward like they did or like we did in the 60s. And so we cannot allow ourselves to be victimized by this kind of attitude and this kind of spirit. As you know, Mike, I told you the other day, when this thing happened in Virginia a couple of years ago, where the guy took his automobile and ran into the protesters and it ended up killing the girl. At that time, David Duke and his organization was very vocal. And one of the things they found on his manifesto was that he was encouraging his people to join the police forces all over the country, and they would be protected by the Fraternal Order of Police, because he understood the camaraderie between police departments. So are we seeing these guys infiltrating the police department and using it as a legal way to take all of us out? And will we continue to sit by and allow this to happen when we know that that's what we are really looking at? It's a modern day lynching. Let's just be real.
It's a modern day lynching.
This was a modern day lynching.
This is exactly what it is. And throughout history, our people are known to be very forgiving people. And I have no problem with forgiveness. I have no problem with forgiving the people that even perpetrate the atrocities. But I believe that although we forgive, we don't excuse. Well, in other words, justice must be won.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, forgive, but at the same time, we need justice.
We need justice. I want everybody on this line now. Can everybody on here do me a favor? Please share, not for likes. I ain't looking for shares today for popularity. I want us to bring we need as many people in on this conversation as possible.
Yeah. And this is something that we got to talk about. Mike, we cannot continue to ignore that there is a race problem in this country. And we cannot allow a few doors to open for us, people of color, and start believing that somehow we have escaped the attitude of racism in this country. We actually have racism now acting out at a level that I've not seen in my 71 years. I didn't even see this in the 60s. When they did it in the 60s, it was like my mother used to say, they threw rocks and hit their hands. That's not what they're doing now. No. They are openly doing this and posing for the cameras as they do it. Our sons and our grandsons, just what they're seeing is that they're absolutely in trouble just because they're black.
Bishop, I spent 9 years policing in the city of Bessemer, nearby city.
Yes.
I did everything in the department. I was a detective. I was a motor scout.
Yes.
I worked in narcotics.
Yeah.
I spent several years on the federal side with the Federal Bureau of Investigations, Violent Crimes Futures Task Force.
Sure.
For the Northern District of Alabama. Mm-hmm. I worked, I met people at the highest levels.
Right.
To this day, I can walk the very streets I used to police and people still come up to me and even thank me. Mr. McClure, if it wasn't for you, when I was arrested, you talked to me, you helped me. But that is gone. I was taught as a child that the police officer was my friend.
To serve
Now I'm almost
protect.
Now I'm almost 60 years. I'll be 57 next week after next. And I gotta be honest, I live in a predominantly white area. And to pass by a police car and I'm an ex-officer, a weird feeling comes over me.
Oh yeah, sure.
And this is too much. How are our children feeling?
Well, they understand that because they are black, that they are subject to harassment at any minute, at any time, and that if in anything that goes wrong, they are guilty. They are guilty until they are proven innocent, instead of innocent until they are proven guilty.
Wow. Now, am I correct? I'm sorry.
The justice is backwards, Mike. Think about this. Here's a man who they finally admitted that it was not a check. It was a $10 bill that was under question. Well, think about this, Mike. I've gone to the bank to make deposits. And while they were counting the money, they found 2 or 3 counterfeit bills in the money. Well, I didn't put it in there. What if the bank would have said, we calling the police because you're trying to deposit counterfeit bills?
Well, even with that, the owner of the store, I saw the interview from the owner of the store, and he said that although the guy, I think it was a counterfeit 20, I really believe.
Okay.
But even he said the young man was never presented a problem. He was outside the store when the police arrived.
Yeah. I saw the video where they get him out of his automobile, sit him up against a wall, and then they make him get up and walk away. And the next thing you see is him on the ground with the officer's knee on his neck. So answer this. You're a former police officer. You're a former FBI agent. Tell me this.
Not an agent. I worked with the federals.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Special deputy.
How can a man resist with handcuffs on with his hand behind his back? Think about that.
Absolutely.
What could that be?
What the point blank is foolishness, what they did. Point blank is foolishness. And I even saw other things on over social media where a young lady is walking a dog.
Yes.
And a young man is in a bird watching area.
Yes.
And she starts screaming and hollering and acting as though the man is doing something towards her.
Yeah.
And he was not, just simply because he was black. It's out of control. I see Arthur Cockrell, Pastor Cockrell. I saw Pastor Dixon. Man, y'all talk to us. I would love to have you guys on with us. Something's got to be done. I think it's time for all of us as pastors to yield some of our pulpit time to address the atrocity that's going on. I think some of these guys around here who carry the prominence of being what we call mega pastors.
Yes.
It's time for them to speak up and speak out.
Well, somebody has got to lead us. It's sad to say this, but we don't have a voice on a national level to galvanize the forces of the ecclesial as we did. People get angry when you bring up Martin King, but what he had was the ability to galvanize pastors from all over the world and bring them to the table and say, we're going to address a certain issue. We don't have that now. Let me just be real. Everybody is trying to be king in their own kingdoms. We've got to face facts. I don't care how big or how small we are. When they look at us, we're still black. I remember something the great Dr. A.G. Gaston told my wife and myself. Uh, he would always drop little nuggets on me. And we were going across the street in front of his office one day. And he asked me, said, how do you think the majority race see me? I said, well, they see you different from the way they see me because you got money. You a millionaire. You are Alabama's first black millionaire. He said, no, son. They see me as an N-word with money. The only difference is I have money, but they see me just as they see you.
Wow.
And see, I think that's where we got to come, Mike, to realize no matter how much we've accomplished, no matter how well we've done whatever it is that we've done, when they look at us, they see all of us in the same manner. No matter what we drive, no matter where we live, no matter whether we got 2,000 members or 2 members, when they look at us, they see us the same.
I want to hear from those that are commenting on our timeline now. Some of you guys that are here now, Joanne King, Emmanuel, Nikki, Patricia, those on our timeline, can you put some of your thoughts out there? How does this stuff make you feel? I see Pastor Larry Ragland. Hey, Pastor, God bless Bishop. How you doing, sir? Bishop Ragland, I would love to have you on. Bishop, if you would love to come on with us, let me know and I could send you the link and bring you on with us. But how do you guys feel, man? Because I know with me, I'm disgusted. I'm hurt. I'm almost flummoxed. I'm lost for words. I see your son, Bobby Paramore Jr. I'm lost for words, man.
It's a difficult position, Pastor Mike, and we're in a strange place. Someone asked me, what did I feel about the looting and the rioting, and I said, wow, that's wrong. You can understand that the frustration is not just this particular killing. The frustration is all of the killings that have taken place that's unsolved, all the killings that have taken place, and these guys have walked, all of the killings that have taken place, and the guys are being acquitted and walking away. And that's where all of this frustration is coming from. It's happening, and nothing is coming out of it.
Look at what Pastor Milton Rand said. Our voice is not as loud in some cases as that of our constituents and counterparts of a different race.
There you
When
go.
they speak up, their voice is heard,
Yes.
and they become the voice for the voiceless.
There you go.
Wow.
And people believe what they hear if they don't hear anything else, Pastor Rand.
I love what my son PMJ says all the time. He quotes, I can't recall who he quotes from, but he makes a very powerful quote about being mistreated. He said, if you stay silent in times of mistreatment, people will kill you and say you loved it.
Yeah, they believe that that's what you respected.
Wow.
Yeah. See, if you say nothing, it tends to speak a different kind of language. It says, I like what's going on.
I wish there was some way to really bring the leaders, the real fathers of our city, politically and spiritually together, and really address this situation. Really address it. Really, for real.
You know what, Pastor Mike? Now, most people won't like this statement, but see, what we have to do is sit at the feet of your father-in-law. at the
Wow.
feet of a Dad Woods
Mm-hmm.
and let him talk to us about the strategies that was used in the 50s and 60s that brought the change to where it is now. Take those strategies and and maybe not implement them line by line, but enhance the strategies and implement them now and move us forward to another place. But until we can recognize that we still have people, I don't brag about this a lot because everybody jump on the bandwagon. But most people don't know that I am one of the original 300 that marched from Selma to Montgomery
Is
as
that
a
right?
teenager. Yes. I have a plaque on my wall as one of the original foot soldiers given by the National Voters' Right Museum that
Wow.
was to me in 1995.
I didn't know that.
So I'm not just talking to be talking. I'm saying as a student leader for the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, what we did was targeted stuff, strategized, implemented, and had the people on the front line that were not afraid to be on the front line. We knew that they were in for the long haul. We just
I,
can't sit up here and talk today and tomorrow and then next week we just act like okay, problems been solved. That's why we are where we are now, because the
Dre-
problems have not been solved.
have
We
not
didn't
been
solve,
solved,
we
and
didn't
we
solve it.
got to stop being
Uh,
paid off. We
we
can't
didn't thank
continue.
you. We didn't
Quit,
solve
quit
it with
throwing me
uh,
crumbs.
we didn't solve it with Trayvon Martin. We didn't solve it with Sandra Bland. We have not solved the issue, and that's why the issue keeps staring us in the face, because we keep walking away until another one comes up and we react for 3 or 4 days or 3 or 4 weeks, and then we go back and act like nothing has happened. We got to realize that we got to create a movement, and that movement has got to stay in force
I,
until we accomplish something.
I like what the young lady said before this one, and I like this one too. But it was a Miss Drea Michelle said that I wish I can go back and find that. I want to let me come back to Teresa. Look at this. She says it hurts my heart because trying to explain this to my 12-year-old black son
Ooh, I
is
feel,
very difficult
I
because
feel,
he's having a hard time grasping how someone who is supposed to protect us kills us.
yeah, I
So,
feel.
what does that black mother tell her 12-year-old black son about policemen?
Or what does she say? How does she tell him that you're supposed to love everybody? Everybody's the same. But her son sees a police officer take a man's life. Well, what's the language? How do you speak to that?
Right.
How do you speak to that?
How do you do it? Then look at this one, Bishop. And everybody keep them coming. Let's hear your heart. I want to make this a forum where you can speak your heart this evening.
Yeah.
Teresa Rain says, I'm sad and disheartened.
Mm-hmm.
How do we change the laws? The training. Oh my God. The training.
Wow.
Oh my God. There got to be some training taking place somewhere.
Wow. Wow.
And the recruitment of these officers who continue these atrocities.
Well, I think the biggest part of that has to be serious background checks.
Woo.
Continue to do these surface background checks. See, they can't do these background checks that will not reveal that the candidate for the police force or the academy was once a part of the KKK.
Wow. Wow.
They've got to look at his social media page and see the statements that he's making, the things that he's saying, not just, well, he ain't never been to jail or he ain't never smoked reefer.
Wow.
They need to know his mindset.
So you
What's
said
in his
you do a better in-depth search of their history.
Yes, yes, yes. That's the first. That's the start of it at first. Not just bring them on the force, put a gun in their hand and give them a license to kill.
Wow.
You could go through social media, Mike, and every time a police officer comes up on a black man, he comes up on the black man with one of the officers on the other side of the car with his gun out. That's enough to scare you half to death.
Wow. This is a dilemma that must be confronted, and I don't think this is a black white thing anymore.
Right.
I think this is a universal problem.
Sure it is.
That all of us need to deal with. That we all need to confront together, black, white, and indifferent, and work together. Joanne King said, "You just said how I feel, but we must stand as a unit, but be prepared to be criticized by our own people. I feel if we organize, the chosen leader will emerge." I believe that. It may be a pastor or maybe not. Yeah. Hypocrisy must not be a factor.
I believe that. Mm-hmm. I believe that. And I believe this. I believe that, as you just said, Mike, it just cannot be a black thing. You got some God-fearing, caring Caucasians that would not dare do anything like this, that can be a part of helping us to advance this movement where we are trying to go. Mm-hmm. If you look at the video, it is as many people out there of the Caucasian persuasion on the streets as it is black people. Mm-hmm. So we're not demonizing Caucasians, because some of us need to be checked, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. Just to be real honest now.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, some of us need to be checked. What's that we got just popped up?
Brittany Williams says, now this is a discussion I want to hear. Well, it's got to go beyond our this forum I have. It's got to be, I like what Drea Michelle just said. This is a humanity problem.
Yes, yes.
And it's time we really deal with it. I'm going to begin to say more in my messages to my people that I lead about how to cope in this world in which we live now.
Yeah.
Because evidently there got to be some training on how we live. I know we got to love each other.
Yeah.
And I know the Bible say love our enemies and all these different things, and I believe in all of that. But at some point, the policeman cannot be considered an enemy. If I got to consider my local police officer my enemy, I'm in trouble. He who is to protect me must be seen as my protector in order for me to trust him.
But trust him when you don't know which one is which. Mm-hmm. So you don't know when that good one is talking to you or when that bad one is talking to you. Mm-hmm. And see, I can cite some incidents that has happened to me because I passed in the heart of inner city, Birmingham, Alabama. Mm-hmm. I've had some incidents that happen. And that the only salvation I had was I was able to point to the decal in the one of my car that said clergy. And that's when they began to back off.
Really? Wow.
I had an incident that happened just before this last election for sheriff. Wait
a minute. Watch this. Look at this. Look at this next statement, man. You see that?
What did it say?
Ms. Johnson said there's a man running for mayor in Sylacauga, Alabama, that had the nerve to say to bring back lynching.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. But Mike, can we be honest?
Yeah.
From Washington, D.C., they get the signal that that kind of attitude is comfortable.
When you say Washington, D.C., what do you mean?
Your Honorable President.
You feel like he's making these type people comfortable with this type attitude?
Yes, they're comfortable. They're comfortable because he will not stand up and declare that this is wrong.
I can remember the first time I heard the statement, the slogan, "Make America Great Again." Instantly, it struck me as, what does that mean? What it just did not flow smoothly. It didn't.
Great for whom?
Great for whom?
Yeah, great for whom? It wasn't great for us.
Whew. So,
Well,
is that term coded? Is it coded? Make America Great Again?
It was as coded as
What's up, Carl?
Take our country back.
Hey, I'm good. You can finish.
Oh, you felt like it meant let's take our country back.
Our country meant that we feel that a black man is not supposed to be at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Wow.
It's so coded, Mike. It's so coded, Mike, that if Hillary Clinton had won the White House, they would have treated her the same way because the mindset is that a Caucasian man is supposed to occupy 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Wow.
That's the mindset. Let's be real. If we're going to do it, let's be real.
Wow.
And so you get all these coded messages.
And therein lies the reason, again, why it's so vitally important for our people to get out and vote.
Yes, sir. What is that? What is Milton saying?
Pastor Rand says, I agree not all white police officers are bad, but it's strange that none of the good white officers stand up, speak up, and challenge the bad ones, or the ones that get caught on camera doing wrong, and even after the fact, they are still silent. I really appreciated the mayor in Minneapolis.
I did too.
I really appreciate it. I believe his heart was laid open bare before the world.
And I also appreciated the guts of the black police chief there also.
Absolutely.
Took some real guts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My hat's off to that chief.
Yeah, my hat's off to that chief. And you do know, Mike, that the only reason they dismissed all four of them is because the body cam, which we have not seen, reveals something that was not in their favor.
So this thing still carries the potential to get worse.
Oh yes. Oh yes. I hope that they will not loot and riot, but I don't see it going away overnight. I just don't see this going away overnight. But you being an
I'm not into the looting. I'm not into rioting.
But you being an ex-police officer, if I had killed somebody, what would you wait on to arrest me and charge me?
I believe right now what's going on now, to be honest with you, I believe this delay is not a denial. I believe that internal investigations are being conducted. And I believe what they're trying to do now is lock airtight, lock up this case so that when it is tried and goes to court, a proper verdict is rendered. Because I believe if this thing goes to trial and come back with the wrong results, we're talking about some mayhem. We're talking about, oh my God, that thing is going to spread across the country. So I believe the people up there realize, hey, we got to get this one right. We can't leave any loopholes. We can't leave any stones unturned. We've got to do everything in our power to properly investigate so that when we bring charges against these folks, because they're going to be charged. They got to be charged. And when they finally bring these charges and take it to court, they got to stick. That's my belief.
So will the 3 officers that were standing by, will they be looking at accessory to whatever the crime was going to end up being?
They got to be, in some way, they got to be held complicit.
For
you know, I want to say this to our audience and to the people that skin look like mine, live near me, and all this kind of stuff. This code of silence that go on many times in many different circumstances, conditions, and situations. There's a time when even our strictest codes need to be broken.
Right.
I've heard about the Blanchard girl.
Yeah.
When she was taken, there was a couple that saw it.
Yes.
And the man wanted to say something, but his fiance, no, that ain't our business. Leave it alone. There are times when nobody's business is everybody's business. And we all got to speak up to protect the person that cannot protect themselves.
Well, one of the things, I go back to the early movement. One of the things that we were taught in the early movement, Mike, we would hope that nobody would die. But if you got on the front line, you must be willing to give your life for what you believe.
Absolutely.
And so a lot of people say it's not my business because they're not willing to give their lives for what they actually believe. They rather turn their head and go home and say nothing. There's somebody saying something now. What?
April Lindsay, she says, Milton Ray and all other races need to stand up against this evil.
Yes.
Too many of us go on about our business because it's not happening to us. That's so wrong. Lord help us. A prayer person, you know, she says, I am a prayer person, but we need to do that and so much more. Yeah. It's just time. It's time to work together, man. It's time to work together. Cheryl Hunter says, Trump says, don't be so nice, and there's no need to protect their heads when putting suspect in the car. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he did say that. See, that's what I was saying earlier. They're getting these coded messages that says it's all right to do whatever it is you're going to do. See, and that's the problem.
Wow.
That's the problem. The messages keep saying it doesn't matter how you do it, you're okay, we got you covered. And that's the scary part.
Wow. We got to be in prayer, but at some point we got to put our prayers into action. We got to put legs to our prayers. So throughout the Bible, every major move in history started in the church. And I don't even understand how we expect government to be successful without church backbone.
Well, first of all, Mike, I heard a young lady in Atlanta say this today. We've got to recognize that we are fighting a system. So we've got to have a system to fight a system. And when we fight this system, we got to have a strategy for change of that system. And we began to fight that system by making sure that we go to the polls and vote the kind of people in office that's going to be our voice, and not just get in office to say that I am senator or I am representative or I am council or commissioner, but I'm there to represent not only my people, but the people of my district, and I want to be the voice of those people. And we have to go to the point. We cannot, see, when you set out, you know, that little movement that's going on now about, well, I'm not going to vote because neither one of them are any good. Listen, man, a no vote or not to vote is a yes vote for the opposition.
Absolutely.
Anytime you don't use your right to vote, you're saying yes to the opposition. You go to the poll and write Mickey Mouse in, that's a yes vote for the opposition. And so we got to understand this. And I'm not really against our young people, and I'm not really blaming our young people. You know who I blame? I blame us for not educating our young people the price that was paid, the lives that were given.
I tend to agree with you. I believe sometimes we focus more on our prosperity,
yes,
and less upon our posterity.
There you go, Doc.
So because we're so focused on prosperity,
yes,
and so little on posterity,
yes,
we're about to leave a lot of fools rich.
Yes, and like right now, the majority of the people that work at the Birmingham Transit Authority, that's a good example. Talk to them, and they know nothing about paying their fare, getting back off the bus, making it to the back door before the bus pulls off. They know nothing about that because we have not educated them. We have not.
Wait. You just said something I didn't know. You had to pay your fare, then get off the bus and go to the back door?
To the back door.
Oh, you weren't allowed to walk?
No, you couldn't walk through the white section.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No,
how
you
did I miss
walk
that?
by the white people.
Whoa.
Couldn't walk by the white people. You had to pay the fare, get off the bus, and then go to the back door and go in the colored section. See, since you didn't know that, that means you didn't know this. That Rosa Parks was not sitting in the white section.
Right.
But the bus got too full.
Yeah, I knew that.
Her seat. And so they demanded her to get up. She was not protesting anything. She was sitting in the back section. But see, many people, they don't know this. They don't know the very system that we are now in charge of. We had to ride the back of that same system to get from point A to point B. Because we have educated them. I talked to some kids that graduated from Ensley High School that never knew that Ensley High School was originally not a black school. They didn't know because nobody taught them. So those are the things that I'm talking about. We got a lot of well-to-do, middle-class, rich black people that know nothing about their history. So that's why this looks like, oh, y'all keep on bringing up that race stuff. No, this is real. This is real.
I believe in my heart that we are at the precipice of the dawning of a new era in Christendom.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I believe that. I believe that God has hit the reset button.
Mm-hmm.
But in the midst of the changes that will take place in Christendom,
yes,
the Christians of the kingdom,
yes,
got to be willing to stand on those godly principles and demand that they become reality in the world.
Well, you know,
I believe all of this, I believe everything we're dealing with now is designed to not only bring us out of the buildings, but to keep us in the streets.
I agree with you. But I also believe this. I believe that my message is this. I'm not asking anyone to give me or us anything. I'm just asking them to respect us in all things. That's all I'm saying. I don't even care if you don't like me, but respect me. Treat me as any other human being. You don't necessarily have to care about me. As long as I get the same respect that you give any other human being.
Right.
And I think that that's really the message. I'm not asking for anything special. I'm not asking for any handout. But what I am saying is when I walk through the door, treat me like the other guy that just walked through the door. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And I think that could be summarized in the fact that all of us got to stand on the point that the dream that Martin dreamed is being realized and has not been fully realized. And since it's being realized, we've got to continue to carry it. We've got to keep hope alive. We've got to do it. We got to do it. We got to keep hope alive.
And we can't keep killing off our own people. We got to help our people. If we feel like that they are in error, we feel like that they aren't going down the line that we need them to go down, go see them. Sit down and talk to them. Don't publicly destroy them.
That's good.
I mean, we've got to stop. If Bear Wolfing is not where we want him to be, go see him. Sit down and talk to him. He may not know what's on your heart.
Yeah.
Go see your council members. Go see your commissioners. Sit down and talk to them. Don't say, well, I'll destroy them in the next election, or I'll destroy them in the community. See, we got to strengthen them because they may not know what it is that's on our hearts or what we expect for our community,
right,
or what we're looking for in our districts.
I didn't realize, and maybe there may be some other pastors out there. Pastor Wren, I saw you, and you said several things, and other pastors that come on. And Bishop, I'm not a Theophilus B. Bailey Jr. I'm not. You're well known. You're renowned. Let's just call it what it is. You're renowned. I think you've probably been pastoring 50 years, easy, right?
Yes.
Okay, and on the radio, 40 some years.
Tell 95 to 2010.
From 95 to 2010, you've been on television.
Yes.
So you're known around the country and the world.
Yes.
But I'm amazed at, since this last one in Minneapolis, I'm amazed at the number of messages that I've personally received by people in and outside of our city saying simply, if I could capsulize their full statements, they were basically saying, help. And I'm making that statement to say to every pastor, every leader out there, I speak to pastors first because I am one.
Yes, sure.
But every pastor and every leader on every level, we can no longer, I don't even want to say that because I don't want to make this an indictment. I won't say we can no longer. We cannot ignore the cry of the Black men and women around this country that are being killed like dogs in the street for no other reason than being Black. Let's call it what it is and deal with it. Well, I love America. I'm a veteran. I volunteered.
Yes.
I've served overseas. I've been on guard duty with live rounds.
Yes.
I
Yes.
signed up to jump out of planes. I voluntarily, I did this stuff of my own free will and accord, my own cognizant power.
Yes.
Love my people.
Mm-hmm.
Like my people have proven that we love this country.
Right.
We built this country.
Yes.
Didn't get paid for it. It's time this country say thank you.
And again, when you say that, you're saying exactly what I'm saying. Just respect me as a man. Recognize that I'm not your boy. Recognize that I'm not on Mr. Charlie's farm as a sharecropper. That I'm a man. Treat me like a man. You know, so many people, when we have this conversation, they get mixed up, Mike, and they start talking about how many of our young boys are taking each other's lives. But I got something to tell you. Could it be that much of that we are seeing is also out of the same frustration of not being accepted as a human being?
Wow. Wow. Now that's a throwback to yesterday's foolishness.
Yeah.
When we were considered less than what, a third of a man or something like that? An eighth of a man, something like that.
There you go.
Wow. We're going to get ready to close out, Bishop, but I
Thank you.
can't believe this. The young man hear this, he going to laugh. But I got a quote, kind of mess with something that I heard Carlos Chavez Jr. say earlier today. And I had to agree with him in this sense when he was talking about black on black crime.
Yes.
And what he said was, he says, everybody's making a fuss about black on black crime, but just as much there's white on white.
Yes, it is.
Mexican on Mexican.
Yes.
Oriental on Oriental. Indian on Indian.
Mm-hmm.
But ours is always highlighted.
Yes.
But how many white people have killed white people? You get what I'm saying? How many white people kill white people? But you've never heard a white man killing a white man being called white on white crime.
Yeah. And when they do it, they do mass killings. They wipe out whole families at one time.
Ooh.
You know, and that's not being prejudiced, that's just being a fact, you know.
I think, Bishop, can I get you to lead us in prayer?
Yes, please let me do it.
Can you lead us in prayer and encourage our sisters and brothers, our brothers and sisters that are listening, watching? My heart is heavy for all of us.
Yes.
But I want to say before we let the apostle here, a great anointed man of God, lead us in prayer, that we sorrow not as those that have no hope. We have hope.
Wow.
Things are going to be better.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to win if we don't quit. But until that time, we got to stand together. We got to solidify.
Yes.
We got to walk the same walk, talk the same talk, cry the same cry, and fight the same battles with the same enthusiasm that victory shall be ours. Bishop, lead us in a word of prayer.
Thank you so much, Pastor Mike. This is very close to me. I have a grandson who's 21 years of age.
Wow.
Works for one of the largest tech companies in this state.
Wow.
Productive young man. But there's not a night that I go to bed that I don't pray for him. Because he lives in a world that the color of his skin could easily get him in trouble.
Wow.
Eternal God, our Father in heaven, we come now and we thank you. We thank you that we've had an opportunity to just begin to talk about something that should be talked about, should be examined, should be inspected. But today we pray now for not just black boys, but boys everywhere.
Yes, Lord.
That God, you will protect them, that you will keep them in your care, and let your word come alive in their lives, that everything that they do, that they would acknowledge you and you will direct their path. We pray now for city officials, state, and even the president of this United States. But we pray now for the family there in Minnesota tonight. We pray, God, that you will look at the Floyd family, you will keep them, and you will let them understand that not only are you with them, but millions are with them, and we will stand with them until justice run down the street like water and righteousness like a mighty stream.
My God.
Thank you now. Cover these children, cover these parents, these mothers and fathers. In Jesus' name we pray and we praise. Amen, amen, and amen.
Bishop, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Pastor Mike, for allowing me to share with you and all of those that were online sharing with us. We've got to talk about this more. I'm going to make myself available, and I ask you to make yourself available at all times.
I want to ask everyone to pray for Pastor Mike Sr., that God give me the influence and affluence and ability and availability to gather as many leaders. I want to start with our city, our state, from around our city together as possible, even as we respect the season we in. So if it need to be by Zoom or some other platform that we might practice social distancing, I want to do that.
Yes.
But at the same time, we've got to gather people together,
Yes.
seriously minded folk who are not concerned about big I's and little U's, but people that are just really serious about defending the will of God.
Yes, yes, yes.
This ultimately is still about that.
It's still about that.
So, man, I love you and I thank you. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you.
That came on with us. Praying that God's will continually be done.
All right.
Love you all. I'm Mike McClure. That's my pops. That's my big man. That's my brother, Bishop Theophilus B. Bailey Jr.
And we approve.
You know what I'm about, Sarah?
And we approve this message.
Peace.
Peace.